Hello, everyone. I hope that you can hear me well. I'm really glad that so many people are here today, meaning that presentations and design is a very popular topic nowadays, which is commonly discussed. Actually, I suppose this is the third seminar of ANR-Lab where we talk about presentations in general. So I will try to give some more insights and in other details into this topic. So I will share my screen, hope that you can now see it. Yes, all right. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. Yeah, okay, let's start. First topic about which I want to talk is about different sources which I used in my presentation. So let's start with that one. Every block of stone has a stage inside it, and it is the task of the sculptor to discover it. I really love that citation actually, just because as analysts or researchers or I don't know, marketeers, financial people, we work with a big amount of information, with a big amount of data. And we are, as sculptors, we have to find some kind of insights, some kind of details, and transform them into graphs, into reports, or any other format. So today we will talk about a huge variety of different tools which are available for us, because I definitely know that you are experts in your fields. And my idea is just to give you that kind of inspiration and tools which can be rather useful in your work. Why I have started with these words about deep appreciation to all used sources, because there are a lot of books, a lot of websites, a lot of sources where we can find information about presentations. I really love that topic, everything about infographics, data viz, and so on and so forth. So of course, I use some kind of additional books, information, and so on in my presentation. So that's why I want to mention all of them, all of the sources, primary sources, based on which I have done this presentation. Kim Voronin, he is a designer of presentations here in Russia. He has his own Telegram channel, Instagram channel, and his own agency and school in presentation design. So some of ideas I have taken from him. I really love the book of Alexander Bokachev about the graphs which can persuade everyone. Sorry sometimes for Russian things, just because they are Russian authors. I thought that it's better also to mention them in Russian, because still there are a lot of Russian speaking people here. Presium and Bonnie Slides, two agencies which I really love. I mean, their job, they really do well. So if you want to find some insights or receive their digests, for instance, every week, you're welcome there. Nancy Duarte, this name, I think, one of the most well-known all over the world when we are talking about design of the presentations. She is a communication expert. She has been working a lot in different communication agencies, in magazines, and she has written several books. Here are just some of them. You can download them or buy them, really worth it. David McCandless, another expert in communication studies, data journalist. So we will talk about one of the most famous theories. Also, several slides I have taken from Introduction to Business Analytics Communicating with Data, just because they have really good summary of different types of visualizations and graphs. So I have decided not to draw something from my own, but just took from this course. And one book in English, it is called Presentation Secrets, Do What You Never Thought Possible with Your Presentations. It's in general about the style of your presentation and some insights, how to structure it, and so on and so forth. So after that introduction, I hope that everyone who wanted to join us have done that, and we can start. Talking about communications in general. Of course, we want our audience to remember at least something after we have spoken for any amount of people. And studies show that people remember, of course, differently the type of the information which we share. So first, what we hear. Only 10% of information people can remember afterwards. 20% what they read, primarily talking about text, and 80% visual information, meaning that nowadays visual communications are really important. And 93% of communication is nonverbal. So different kind of infographics, in general, graphs, schemes, diagrams are really important if we want to communicate our ideas clearly. And the well-known phrase here, I can't go next without saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and it is really so. When we talk about visual communications, we can mean any type of information which can be visually actually performed. These are different objects, photos, videos, some pictures or even drawings and sketches, definitely some maps, graphs, tables. All of this information are the channels, are the types of visual communication. So this is the key, the primary topic of today. And you have seen this in the announcement actually of our today's seminar, a few words of David McCandless, that visualization is really hard. And the phrase which I love even more, we have not written that in the announcement, it's something about the precision needed at every level. Concept, data, story, design, style, all are precision arts, right? We know that maths, physics are precision arts, but in some point of visualization is also has these common features. In visualization, they are stacked one on top of the another. If one sags or slips, the entire edifice can collapse. It really so. So let's start today's seminar. The agenda is the following. So first, I want to cover rather briefly the topic of different types of reporting, just because based on the type which we use, we should choose different kind of visuals. Secondly, I will talk about the key elements of successful presentation. This is probably a little bit not so boring, but still more theoretical part. And later on, we will move to different tips and tricks and visualization stuff. If you don't know anything about the design and you have no idea where to find inspiration and what visual elements and colors are popular right now, I will tell you all the secrets, so please just wait for that. And the last part, I have prepared a small learning material set. So I will just share this slide here in a chat so you can repeat probably some actions which I do. So in the last part, we'll talk about primary 15 tips and tricks in PowerPoint, just practical skills, which can really make your job faster. So let's start. Different types of reporting. I would say that, of course, there are a lot of them, but the key ones are the following: slides, slide docs, infographics, and dashboards. The first question, so sometimes I will ask you several questions just to have some kind of a dialogue. Do you know what does slide doc mean? Probably anyone knows. No. Something in a chat. Okay, then I won't wait too much time. So I will just talk about different types actually of the visualization, and we will start with slide doc here. Few words about presentations, and then we move to that one. So when we hear this word presentation, we can actually think about different types of them. It can be public performance, it can be some kind of advertising tool when we give some kind of a brochure about the object, about the company. Primarily, in that case, now we think about the presentation as a set of slides. There could be some kind of special effects, like slideshow, which contains probably visual content, some text content, audio or video. So this is our focus for today. Now, several words about the difference. I have told you that we will talk about slide docs first. So here we are. This is the concept which has been developed, I think, almost 10 years ago by Nancy Duarte. She noticed that a lot of people use slide docs instead of the presentations. And actually in academia, that happens rather often. We see the slide which contains a big amount of information inside. So first, let's define the differences between the classic document, the classic report, and the presentation. So several things which I want to mention here. Topical structure in the document, right? We read that as a book, as the classic book, I mean topics, subtopics, subtitles, clearly structured. For the presentation, the key idea is that we have to present that in a way that there is some kind of the drama, some problem, question, and later on we provide some solutions. So the person can understand, okay, we have started at this particular point and have ended in another one. In a document, the primary idea is that it should be informative. There is normally some kind of analytical process which can be observed inside. In the presentation, it's more about creativity, some entertaining stuff, or cinematic story. And for the presentation, of course, the person is needed, the speaker, who will explain everything, who will talk a lot. The document is a self-guided thing, so no presenter, no speaker is needed, so you can just read it and that's it. Then you can ask me, what is slide doc then? Actually, the combination of these two formats. It's neither the document or the presentation. It should have some kind of the modular structure inside. So different blocks are there. Primary, it's for educational purposes. Of course, some kind of visuals are included, but in this icon, you can clearly see that there are a lot of text still, but some visuals and graphs are added. This is not the presentation. This is the wrong format. If you want that to demonstrate somewhere on the screen, it will be too complicated for people to understand what you're talking about, and they will just read your slides, no listening to you. Several examples. Here is just another print screen from Nancy Duarte book. You can go into details and read to that. Valeria, it's not a poster just because it is more similar to a book. I will show you several examples right now because normally it has some sections and a lot of the documents it cites. It could be as reference material or follow-up material when you just print this document or send this document as PDF to your colleagues so they can read by themselves all the materials which is inside. So the topic, the graphs, so they don't need you as the author of that to explain everything, but still not so official, I would say, as clear document. Few examples, and I think it will be all right here. Slide document in Russian. Here, exactly. Sometimes it is translated as this word. Again, an example, a case study from Nancy Duarte book. I would really recommend to download that. It's for free, around 200 slides, really well structured, very illustrative about slide docs and presentations. Really good one. For instance, the example, right? The chapter from academic article about the sun. We see some graphs inside, a lot of text, of course, as usual. So what can be done if you want to transform that into slide docs, for instance? The solution provided by this communication agency. The topic is about the sun, right? We see the visualization, the sun visualization, right, on the starting page, on the title here. We see the structure of the presentation, in other words, table of contents or agenda, so we can observe key structural elements through the whole of the presentation with the pages or slides inside. And some structure which is rather similar to the classic book one, probably. So 3 columns here inside with some illustrations. Much easier to understand this one information. This one probably I will just skip because the most interesting part happens here with the graph. On the left side, we see some scatter plot with some areas there. Of course, we can observe everything from this figure or diagram about the stars, but how it looks much more interesting on the right side, where we just add the color, we just change to the circles these dots inside, make the background of the sun, and here we are. This plotting the data now is much more interesting than it was before. And by the way, this graph I would even use in the presentation, I mean the commonly used presentation, just to demonstrate some kind of the results. So this is about slide docs. It's not the presentation with which you want to present your results. It's just some kind of a material preparation stuff. Slides. As a film, you remember that we started with this cinematic thing inside. So the audience want us to have a look at our presentation as one linear, one long story. And one slide goes after another one, and it's interesting for everyone. Here is the example of the presentation, more business one, but still in academia it can be adopted more or less, probably without these bright colors inside, and it could work rather well. Again, later on, I will tell you about the sources where you can find the inspiration like these ones, because everything what is presented right here can be easily drawn in PowerPoint without any specific knowledge inside, but it looks much more interesting. We don't have too much text inside. We have some kind of visual elements, and the person can speak a lot about what happens actually in the presentation. Another variant here, just with different kind of visualizations, process diagrams, roadmaps, introduction slides, how to use these circles instead of classic bullet points, different ideas inside. I won't bore you too much with theory. We will talk about practice much more. Another format here is infographics. Definitely, you know that, rather popular again in communication studies, in mass media, but nevertheless, if we talk about statistics, about portrait of our, or profile about our consumer, or we want to describe our research and the people whom we asked for to fill in the questionnaire, still we can use some kind of infographics inside. Three different formats. On the left side, just icons, more as a cinema. The second one, in the second one, we include much more icons and at the same time graphs. And the last one, more similar to dashboard, but presented into infographic style. Let's have a look a little bit closer. So classic pie chart can have much fun for the audience if you add by the same color icons with description of some parts inside, or as on the right picture we can see the dashboard format with graphs, key statistics about Facebook impression made, about the audience, page views, post likes, and so on and so forth. Sometimes executive summaries in business are done in that style of the dashboarding, something like this. So we can see the panel inside, just several boxes, right? If we are talking about technical stuff, one box is larger, the smallest box is for title, probably for some source. And here we are. We can see the primary results of any research, of any observations in one place, and it's rather clear. Moreover, if we add, for instance, animation and just go one by one, graph by graph, we can present the yearly performance dashboard in more entertaining format inside. Let's move on. To the next part, to the second one. It was an intro. Probably will be a little bit late, a little bit later than 1 hour. So question part we can combine with just this lecture part already. So several key elements of successful presentation. I would start with 3 myths, just because you can say me, okay, we came here because we don't want later on to listen everything about colors, figures, because we think they're subjective, but still, design is a science, and a lot of rules of how to present something, to put everything on the slide there are, so it's not so objective. Some objectivity can be found inside. You can say that, yes, we are not designers, and as is the title, we wrote that. Of course, it's fine, because design is in new writing nowadays. We do presentations very often when we present the results, when we want to find the potential clients for some projects, for anything. Then we can talk about design stuff as well as about text. Does it really matter? These are just slides. Yes, it's matter. And we come to the first slide, that 80% of information we look at, we can really remember. So how to go actually from idea to presentation? Not a secret at all. We start with the structure, then we move on to preparing the slides. And just the last important thing is the way we talk with people and communicate with them. So actually our approach. Few words about the key principles which can be observed in design or in general in the presentation stuff. First is focus. When I tried to prepare this presentation, I understood that I have material, I think, at least for 15 hours. And I thought, okay, I have to focus it somehow. That's why I told you about my agenda, 4 separate parts, actually. So that was my focus, my choice. You can do that on your own. It is, of course, based on the audience to whom you present and on the idea which you discuss. So try to focus with the color, with the design, with your ideas, with text, and so on and so forth. At the same time, some contrasts have to be done. Just because if the whole of the presentation will be held on in just one I would say emotional line, it won't be perfectly work. So we have to think about contrast at least a little bit. And unity, because different parts of the presentation have to be connected somehow. The unity of your colors, of your structure and your design also have to be unified in one form. Few words about how do people remember again some stuff. If we're talking about analytics, for instance, and of course, number is the key element which we want to represent, to share with our audience, is 7, based on the studies, and actually plus minus 2 numbers. So if you include more than this amount of numbers, it's a bit too overloaded for people to remember and to make the differences between them. Target audience. I have started with that. And when we prepare the presentation, we actually have to think about the audience, to whom we will talk to. Sometimes it's really difficult to predict who will listen to you. But for you, you should ask the question, to yourself. What is the primary idea? What you want to do, your audience? I mean, how do you want them to feel about your presentation? Probably you want just your audience to hear what you're talking about, and that's all right. Something to remember, of course, then you have to use special, instruments inside. Probably to do sales presentations are the key example for that, and becomes better. Actually, I love that word. I mean, here becomes better. People loves when they just stopped listening to something and they understood that, okay, I become better right now. I know something new, and that's really great. So every time try to include something into your presentation that people afterwards could think about themselves, that they became really better after listening to it. I will skip that right now because I understood that we are like 30 minutes already done. I will share this presentation with you, and of course there is the recording, so you can have a look at it afterwards and discover it if you're interested in. Here is the example of bad slide, I would say. I would love to ask the question what you don't like about it. What are your ideas here? How would you improve actually this one?
For me, it would be better if there would be like not two separate graphs, but probably one the same, where we can see the dynamic between 2010 and 2017.
Yes, perfect. Okay. Probably anything else? You can write that in the chat if you don't want to talk to. Yeah, 3D pie chart and dynamic is not clear. Yeah, better merge them, definitely. You don't say anything about the title. Say structure of hard cheese in 10 and 17 years. I would tell you one secret that normally European manner of reading information is that one. So first we read the title like this one, then we move on to the left bottom part and then to the other one. So the title is really important. So what can we do with that? Actually, first we want to clarify the message which we want our audience to remember. For instance, one of the solution can look like this one. What I have observed, I have compared these two pie charts and understood that only for Russian and for Dutch cheese, the share goes down. So this could be one of the messages based on this data which we have. And for instance, one solution can look like Russian and Dutch cheese lose their market share. Normally people really read the titles of your presentation. That's why it's important to include the key idea there. Okay, then add some additional kind of information about what is inside and just highlight these two lines actually because all other doesn't make any sense for anyone. And probably some additional boxes on the right side with some text or icons which can work additionally for your audience. One of the solutions how you can work with this type of data and visualization. Thank you for your comments. I really totally agree. And actually we think you see one direction with the solution I have provided to you here. So storytelling is important, and the message you provide for your audience is really important here again. If there is no conflict in your data or in your story, that means that people predict everything you will say in your next slide, and they will just feel really boring about everything. That's why we want to capture attention. We don't want just with introduction slides to make the heart beating of our people and later on just dive them with a big amount of different bar charts, diagrams. No, we want to keep their attention for the whole presentation. That's why we probably can include some kind of entertaining stuff, some questions to change some topic and so on and so forth. And when we build story, we think about everything we want to include in. For us, for the authors, for the presenters, it's important to think about everything what is included inside. Some statistics, concepts, problems. Later on, of course, we develop them, provide some ideas, data, and reflect and give the summary to the end. The audience shouldn't think, okay, now he has told to us the problem, then he will give us the definition, then there will be example, after that the graph will go. No. For the audience, it should be as a film and they should feel somehow that one slide goes after another. That's the primary and the key focus here inside. In other words, we want them to feel something here with the problem just because they went out of their comfort zone. They thought, okay, I really don't have an answer to that. After that, they see the solution, they see how you solved this problem perfectly. And of course, the final part with the conclusion here inside. Or in other words, few emotions in introduction part, the problem should really make your audience think about, okay, what a cool research is now is doing or has already been done. of course, the solution, but the people will remember the conclusion part, because unfortunately, all the amount of the slides with solution, it's impossible to remember. So key rules, each slide has to have a clear goal. Slides are done for scanning, not for reading. And the key element of text slide is title. So the title, we read that really all the time. So my presentation isn't perfect, of course, in that case, just because it's more lectorial one and my slides are not so much informative. But if you do something for the conference, please include the meaningful title inside. I will definitely skip this part because we are almost out of the time. I understood that too much information here inside. Just the link of the website Knowledge is Beautiful by David McCandless with his perfect theory. I really love that, how to prepare a good visualization. First one is information and data. The second basic concept inside is story. Goal, which you want to achieve, showing the people this particular graph or diagram, and of course visual form metaphor. Each of them have several things about which you have to thinking. Of course, when we talk about the data, you have to be honest with your listener. You should be consistent and accurate working with data and then providing the results in graphs based on this kind of data. The story which you give to your listener should be interesting, relevant, and meaningful. For instance, with this cheese, of course, you could select another story, by the way, not with down trends, but upper trends, upper going trends. And that, again, could be really rather interesting and relevant, but for another goal here. So each graph, visualization, or diagram should fit with your goal. And some beautiful things, structural things also have been added too. Talking about several, actually 3 blocks of the elements which give you the final success are the following. Of course, content makes sense. If the topic is not interesting at all and you can't provide your key idea to the audience in a wet way, unfortunately, your presentation won't work 100%. Slides should be clearly readable, so one message per slide. Some graphics is really perfect here. And the presentation style and approach is really important. If you speak clearly, if your speed of the speech is rather okay for your audience to understand, so not too slow, not too fast, everything is fine here. Probably several questions based on theoretical part. And now I expect that we can start with the second one. I think that we have like 40, 50 minutes left. And from that part, we can start the dialogue. So any questions right after the slides, and we can communicate with each other right here. Just one small pause, probably for questions or what you want else to hear today. Okay, I will just upload the file, one file for you. We will go into that, I think, in 15 minutes or something like this. So you can download this file and we will talk about tips and tricks. Some question? Okay, probably just the microphone is here. Okay, so let's move on. I will talk more about inspiration right now. So what to do if you are not a designer and where to find the ideas for your presentation. A lot of useful links are inside here. So I will just switch right now to the Google Chrome and present you several ideas from here. So first, sorry, I can hear you. Probably it's a question for me, no? Okay, no questions. Then let's start from the first block about overall inspiration. You can make a print screen if you wish with these sites, which I primarily really love. I would recommend you the first one. It's Graphic River. So what is it about? It's the market where you can buy a lot of different templates, vectors, icons, presentations. I don't ask you to buy anything just because all of the elements can easily be redrawn in your PowerPoint. So if you don't know how to present, for instance, 4 bullet points, you have no idea, and you don't want to use these dots, which are really not so popular and well looking like nowadays. Just several ideas here, for instance, on the left part too, right? So you use icon to represent one key message, just yellow line down, some subtitle and text in these boxes, in these white boxes with gray boundaries outside, or another composition here with 4 bullet points, picture on the left side, and on the right side you have these 4 bullet points. So try to have a look here for a huge amount of different ideas. I think more than 10,000 slides are presented. Find the inspiration, try to repeat something based on it. For instance, timeline, really perfect one, just one arrow and 4 circles. And here we are talking about some milestones. Just have a look and find the inspiration for yourself. It will be much easier later on to have your own style in your presentations and to repeat something like this. The second block is about the presentations. Probably sometimes you don't have time to redraw everything, or you don't have enough skill for right now. Several slides where you can download the editable format. I would really love to show you this Showit. I really like this website. You can download here free PowerPoint templates with charts and diagrams, with maps, and everything is editable. Here you can see 2 examples in widescreen and standard format, and go down, down, down. Here is the slides which you can observe inside, and just download this presentation. Here a huge selection of different types of things inside. Moreover, if we are talking about some more complex elements as diagrams, structure, information, and so on and so forth, just for free. Of course, colors. It's a huge topic in design. Probably you have no idea about design, so you don't know which colors are perfectly matches, which are don't. So here is the solution. 4 links which I provide to you. First one can help to work you from the scratch, or you can extract some theme inside. Gradients are really the most popular visualization, color style nowadays. So gradients are everywhere. In business, I think every first presentation have it. So how to find the best one, the best solution, I will also show you the website right now. And also 2 interesting tools. One of them is color contrast checker. Probably I will be now not so correct and polite to HEC, but just one example from the website based on the contrast checker, proving that sometimes it's complicated for the reader to find the information inside. So first about the colors. How Adobe Color is working. It's free, and it demonstrates several classic actually styles of combining the colors. Split complementary, 3 colors, 2 are more comparable with each other. One is for the contrast ones, triads, key triads, and you can change actually any colors here, move this color circle and find the best solution for yourself. Sometimes it works not so pretty well. By the way, you can download these colors from here. You already have the style of your company, of your presentation, and you want to find appropriate colors, and it's sometimes a bit annoying. We can just extract actually theme, so all the colors from your picture. I have prepared several files here, for instance, the nature. See, perfect palette here inside for this picture. I can move these colors and probably make it a little bit to this one more to green, or this one a little bit lighter, and just copy paste these colors, which you can copy paste into your PowerPoint template. Or another interesting thing about extract gradient. Again, working with this picture, we can make any gradient its side with blue, with pink, with brown. We can change these kind of gradients, and the perfect picture is here with all the details of the colors. So if you have no idea how to find beautiful colors, just find the inspiration somewhere in the internet with the pictures, and then modern solutions will help you definitely. Now I told you that there are some cool things with color contrast, right? So I have went to HEC website and thought, okay, I want to test if it's okay to have a look at these career cards for the audience and to read the text, which is actually like white based on something like this. So what can I do? I can just make a small print screen of this part. Control C, Control V, I will put that to this website. It's the site which help you to observe every pixel color. So if you want to find the particular this one, you can definitely find all the colors. Again, just copy paste. And then I want to check how the background is connected with this color. So probably I have no idea in design or a combination of the colors. What can I do then? Okay, this is my background. I just copy and paste to this website, right? Background color. And then I want to take this font color, it's white here. So again, I just copy and paste this one here. Oh, I see that it's very poor. Too complicated for the person to read that text. So not the best combination, definitely. We can do another example actually right now. I have just decided to check this one from MASNA program and Instagram. So I want to check this blue one color here, background color, right? Again, I want to put and to test. Will it be easy for the person to read this white text based on this blue one? I again just copy and paste these two colors. So, okay, very good. We are almost fine with those colors. So totally fine. I can use that and it works really well. So color contrast checker, if you don't have any idea how to combine the colors and you want make your audience feel actually understandable, I would say, in your wording, it will be rather cool for them. Any questions probably here, how to work with the colors? Okay, because I can talk for ages about those topics. Several slides here, just again, right, color wheel. Key elements, basic theory, you can Google that definitely for the internet if you are interested in. And some examples which you can do without any knowledge in design, just put your picture into the program and you will have this perfect palette for your presentation. Some trends, I would say, in 2020 and in 2021, they continue to be. Some bright colors are really popular nowadays. These blue ones, violet, really popular. So again, just Google and you will be modern in your color solutions of your presentations. The fourth topic, tips and tricks about the charts. Here, I would say not just classic charts, but also some kind of these schematic diagrams. Again, I want to go to Nancy Duarte website, which I really love. She has free solution for you with free PowerPoint templates with different types of diagrams. For instance, I want to have some kind of a network like this with 6 nodes. I can just go here inside and find a lot of different solutions. 3D, 2D, you see 131 diagrams. All of them can be downloaded for free. The color can be changed, the format can be changed, so all of the elements are changeable inside. So a huge variety. I would recommend to use them for the flows, for some segments or overlapping. They are really perfect. I would say the biggest, collection of all the formats inside. Okay, let's move on. Sorry. Okay. Um, few words or a few more words about the charts. I think that the audience today is rather professional in that case, so I won't talk too much about that. Just few tips. First, we formulate the message and idea. It's not the best choice first to draw the graph, for instance, correlation plot, and after that try to find this key message. No, first we think about the key idea which we want our audience to remember, to understand. So we formulate this message, and based on that, we try to find the appropriate visual form to prove that idea. So we choose this. Later on, we make this graph as simple as possible if we are talking about business presentations, sales presentations, so not the classic academic ones. We remove unnecessary stuff which can make our audience feel overloaded with information. We add some accents with colors, forms, and here we are, the perfect graph is inside. Um, this is the classification of the charts. I think again I will skip it. Probably we can talk somewhere later about that. The key idea is we can draw anything we want. We have data or we don't have data. Still some visualization forms can be used in. Of course, the most interesting are visual discoveries when we use the data-driven approach and we want to explain some kind of information for the reader, for the audience. That's why we can use data-driven patterns visualizations here. Please use the whole variety of different kind of graphs. If you're interested, you can contact me and I can share with you some additional posters about graphs, because actually there are now around, I think, 80 different styles and types of which we can use. So try to differentiate your presentation. If you have some kind of data which can be drawn on the map, for instance, colors or cities, do that. Or if you know that you describe some kind of theoretical concepts, use Venn diagram if these theories are overlapping somehow or have this point, connected point. It will be much easier. You know, young generations really think in the direction of pictures, icons, and you will talk on one language with them. Now again, we come a bit to more design stuff here inside, composition and structure. Of course, it's important to keep some kind of unique one style inside. Several examples here. We can divide our slide into 3 parts here, and several examples, 3, I would say even bullet points and 3 characteristics for all of them. The last thing here is the title. So here we are, the first block, title, subtitle. The second one, huge one, is your context. And the last one can be just for the footer, for the numbers, or anything else. In other examples with 4 pictures here. Several directions can be observed here. We can separate them into several layers with text like this one, and the bottom part is just the picture on the below part. Or here, clearly we can see the picture inside. This part, slide, sorry, we can separate here. On the left, the text, on the right, some kind of key idea, and so on and so forth. Several additional rules about the composition and the structure. By the way, that's just the example of ways how you can combine all the data and structure it. And based on Nancy Duarte book, this is the picture of her file, which I recommended you to download from the internet. In general, by the way, 892 solutions can be found how you can compose your elements into the slide. Several rules here. As a science, again, we talk about that. Closeness. How close are our elements to each other? If they are close, meaning that, okay, it's one part, one bullet, one portion of data. Some air, I would say this word, because we want our slide to breathe, actually, to give some free space. Alignment, yes, right, this beautiful horizontal or vertical lines should be filled in. Some contrast things with circles or quadrants, whatever, or of colors to pay attention to some elements. And last but not least is repetition, meaning that the same size of the text, for instance, for your titles, the same size of the things for subtitles, and so on and so forth. Here is just a small piece of example of all of these rules. Closeness is here. Closeness is here. Closeness is here. You see the same location between all of the elements. The second one was air. We have a lot of air here, right? So the space between the title, subtitle, and this part. Here again, some space between the left part of the slide and right part of the slide. The third rule was about alignment. If I do and draw some kind of line, here will be the perfect line. Here will be the perfect line again. Sorry, I can't draw so perfectly here. And the line here again. So everywhere it can be drawn. Some contrast things. I didn't do that, but let's imagine that this one is with red one. So our eye will pay attention spontaneously, momentum, right on this circle. And the last but not least is the repetition. For instance, here we have the size of 35 pt. So if I do the same slide with the same title, the size should be the same here. The size here is the same as the size here. So if you follow these simple rules, everything will be perfect. Few words about icons. I recommend only these two ones. I think even that it's enough just to use the first one, flat icon. What I really love inside, here is the print screen from that slide, that you can find the whole packages inside. For instance, laboratory. You see 50 icons inside. They are all into the same style, same actually color, topic, and design. So you can use them in one presentation. Few details about the icons. Very often people try to use as much icons as possible of different styles. Please do that. One presentation, one style of icons. Few words about different types of them, just the key ones. One of them is glyph. Probably too complicated to understand. In comparison to line, actually it's the same, but the width of this line is a bit larger. So if you use this kind of style of icons and this one in one presentation, it looks already not so perfectly. However, you can say, okay, line and line, it's the same. Not, unfortunately, no. You combine two different things inside. Flat icons, rather popular nowadays in business presentations, just flat ones. Material, you can, have this feeling of touching some kind of material, different kind of them. Rather complicated to find this style in the internet, so I won't recommend you to use the hand draw. If you use this one, you have to find the proper font, again, which is more similar to the hand drawn and probably some additional elements. So here you need a little bit more advanced level of design thinking and just design, hard skills of creating the presentations. Pixel art, I don't know where you can use that. Skeuomorphic, it was rather popular a few years ago, meaning that we can combine several types of icons of materials into one icon. And isometric, these 3D icons. So my choice, modern choice and general trends are this one and this one nowadays, and flat icons for business presentations. One example, proof example from Apple. Here, clear examples of skeuomorphic graphs. You see some, here we can see the clouds, the sun or something else. Now we just have this simple flat icon inside. So the simpler, the better, the trends of nowadays. Few more resources where you can find different kind of images inside. I won't go to the internet just because you can do that on your own. And fonts. With fonts, one really cool example here and cool helper. You can find any font from any picture on this slide. I will demonstrate you how it works. Probably you found a perfect picture somewhere in the internet and you have no idea like, how to find this font. I also want to use that in my presentations. So you go just to this website, you browse any picture you want. I have decided to use this one. Sorry, my computer, I think, yeah, okay. Let's wait for several seconds, minutes. We have this 30 seconds. You can ask me any questions or probably open the PowerPoint presentation, which I sent to you in a chat because we have some time.
Diana, thank you. For a moment, I really like your presentation. I can't wait the opportunity when I can, where I can start to use all these great advices to make presentation. I have like general questions. Question: are those advices about designing the presentation are suitable for all types of presentation? As far as I got, for instance, the educational presentations are like slide docs. But for instance, does it really matter to to make to think so much about the design for business presentation? Yes, and for instance, for some scientific presentation when we for instance present our project at the conference or something like this. Thank you.
So, okay, actually 3 questions I think here. So first one about educational presentations. Actually, my solution, my advice, I think that's the best option. If everyone could follow that, it could be perfect. To have 2 versions of the presentations. One of them is most about slide docs, and you can send it to your students as supporting materials with your comments, with your text and some visualizations as to prove your ideas and to support. And the other one, when you speak prior to the audience and try make your students, for instance, to remember all the stuff, because our students really remember much better if they see pictures. That's the first part. The second one about the conferences. Here, actually, almost all of the advices can be suitable also for academic and business presentations because, for instance, the rules about space, component structure is actually the same, just because in introduction you have some problem situations, then in main part you have methodological part. The solution part is just a bit different, I mean, the structure inside. But in general, the same approach here. Probably the colors, of course, yeah, they can be a little bit different. I don't think that you will go with some kind of violet, blue and pink colors on academic conference and some kind of finance, just because for finance, the colors which are more associated with gray, blue, red for some kind of dynamics, right? So there are some additional rules inside the specific areas. But in general, it also works. If you add some kind of visualization stuff, like creating diagrams or combination of some, I don't know, circles, quadrants instead of classic bullet points, or structure your bullet points not in this vertical order, but horizontal one, and will add animation step by step, your academic presentation will only benefit from that. So actually, that's my opinion based on that. So yeah, the whole presentation is just my view or based on own experience in these terms. Okay, so I will just move on again to this website just to demonstrate to you how it works. So probably you will be so inspired that after the presentation you will entertain yourselves by finding cool fonts. So I have uploaded the picture here. And I want it to understand this one, this word here inside. Next step here. Okay, he advises me that he can optimize the picture. I will do that. I will return to optimize again and to help him to separate all the letters so he can understand the difference between different letters inside, and probably some contrast additional that it can be totally clear. Okay, next step. I still have no idea what font is it. Okay, he has understood that there are several, sorry, I have Russian inside. So several letters here. And then I move to the next step. Okay, he found some fonts which are rather similar to this one. This one probably is not the best, but still rather similar too. However, what I can observe here that there are a lot of ideas. Some of them are more similar. Okay, I think this one is really totally the same. So I have found this word. This one is here, and I can just download this font and install on my computer and use that for creating totally the same figure. So please, you are welcome to use this for the fonts. If you don't know how to find that, you can do that easily. Few more words about the fonts. Oh no, okay, I will say still few words. Don't use too many typefaces. What does it mean? Typefaces are these things like bold, medium, light thing. So you can download several Bantam Gothic fonts, for instance, 4 of them, and use in your presentation just 2 typefaces, like light for the text and bold for the titles. It would be perfectly. The second rule about sans serif, not sans serif. What does it mean? Засечки in Russian. So for the presentation, when you demonstrate them on the projector, it's better not to use this type of fonts, just because it's too complicated. I mean, we don't have the best quality of our practice to demonstrate these details. This one will be more clear for our eyes to understand. And the last rule, really it's the basics of the fonts usage in the presentation. Don't include italic, bold, everything in one side. Just please don't do that. This one is enough to highlight something, probably with color, and that's it. Just one reminder of different styles. Of course, Times New Roman are our favorite one in academia, and in Russia we use this for formal style, and several ones which are also rather popular. Verdana and all the fonts which are similar to that are commonly used as modern fonts in business presentations. Yeah. And last but not least, few words about blogs. Just read. If you want to develop actually the skills of data visualization, just general visualization, only reading, everyday reading some news, some examples of different visualizations can help you. And few more useful links, I will just skip it here. And for any questions, you can contact me. Here are the contacts. I think we can move to the practical part, if that's interesting. I think we are out of time, so you can suggest me. We can probably stop and in the format of questions and answers work with the presentation, I mean with the practice, or we can first answer the questions, and for those who are interested in, I can tell several hits and tricks here in PowerPoint. If no suggestions for right now, probably I will start. At least I hope that you will learn really something new about PowerPoint. Yes, I will share this presentation for those who have attended seminars, so you can use the links. Yeah, definitely. Okay, then let's move on. I have prepared probably a little bit too much. I will go a little bit rather fast right now, but still I will try to talk about everything here inside. These are the things which I really love most, and a lot of people don't know all of them. So first, how to create circle and in circle so they could be really perfectly inside each other. First, how to create circle. We go to insert option here in shapes and choose oval. If we want to create a circle, we just have to push the shift button on our keyboard, and now the circle is here. Okay, circle is inside. Later on, I want to do the circle in the circle. So first I want just to copy paste this one. I have copied. And I will change the color just to demonstrate you that I do something with that. I put it exactly on the same place here. And when I want to change the size of it, I just press Shift Ctrl on my keyboard and then start to changing the size. You see, it has the same proportion for all the figures inside. Later on, I can again copy paste another one, another circle, put it on the same place, Ctrl Shift with this one, and here we are. Any figures are working like this, and you can just group it as you want. Let's move on. Another option, first I will continue with Ctrl and Shift options, which are really perfect, and then about Ctrl and G. So for instance, I have this kind of a figure inside, and I want to copy it on the same line as it is here. I can just do this as Ctrl C, Ctrl V. It's not so nice. I have to find the place. It doesn't work so pretty well. I can just click Ctrl Shift on my keyboard and try to move that on the right. And you see, I can't do that anywhere on the bottom or to the up. You see, I do that on my mouse, but I can't do that on any line. So I can work only with this line. If I don't press Shift and Control anywhere, right? The same, it's working with this direction. So Control Shift, and you can do whatever you want. I will just put it here on that place. For which purposes we can use Control and G. G is for grouping. So I can highlight all these figures, click Control G, and all of them are grouped. Then I can click Control Shift, go down, and this table can be observed here inside. If I don't want to group them again, I just click Control Shift G and all the elements are ungrouped here, and I can move that one to any place where I want. Let's move on. Some key elements, hotkeys with Control, the best figure which can be found here inside. Control I, Control Italic, Control B for bold, Control E if we want to center the text, Control Left if we want to make this on the left, Control R if we want to make it on the right, and Control J if we want to justify the text. Here we can't observe that. Another cool thing with Control Shift and these two lines, for instance, I want these texts to be a little bit more large. I press Control Shift and do something like this, and the text proportionally increases in this side. And if I press Control Shift B in Russian, this text becomes smaller. And if I want to proportionally change the size of different elements on my slide, I can just press Control, choose several boxes here, and press Control Shift this line, U in Russian, and Control Shift B in Russian, and it will proportionally decrease in the size. I don't need to go here to change all the numbers inside. Too complicated, I just save my time. Another cool feature with edit points. I will insert one figure, it will be a rectangle, somewhere here. It's not, very beautiful one, and I want to change a little bit. I click right bottom on my keyboard and choose Edit Points options. Look what can I do right now. I can change that to the figure I want. And nowadays, it's very popular to do the slides like this, where you have the picture on the right and the text on the left. And instead of this one, I can just click on the right side to the shape format, shape fill, and to use picture inside. I will just use any stock image which I can find in the internet right now. Okay, it will be the lemon here inside, and the lemon is appeared on this direction. Or I don't love this kind of points here inside. I can add additional points here. I click right bottom here, add point, and I can do something like this. Also, I can change them to the smooth point. And here I can add additional points here and also change it somehow. And very popular visualizations with soft, smooth corners are here. Not so beautiful for that moment, but still you can do whatever you want with your edit point stuff. Okay, text boxes. Normally you do this as insert text box, something like this one. I will just copy some, I will just copy some text from the internet, from the Wikipedia. One thing which is really advisable is to use Ctrl-Shift-A if you want just to paste only the text, or keep text only like this one. Okay, you see what happens? Not so cool one. If you don't want to use the text like this, you just press Ctrl-A. It highlights everything what is inside and move out of this box. What happens next? The text right now can be, in much more suitable format for data visualization. And for instance, I want to separate several sentences, or this part only. I can highlight this and move it to the text, and you see additional text box appears. I want this text to move to another text box. I just highlight and move to another one, and here we are, another text box. So you don't need every time to copy and paste, copy and paste. Just highlight and move that to another place inside in your presentation. One cool feature, I can't leave you without telling about that. The next one, morph. Let's use this example inside. Morph is think for designing presentation. Make them more similar to the movie one. This is our first slide with some 6 parameters. I duplicate this slide. I just click right bottom on the laptop and duplicate the slide. I want to group all the elements which are here, like this one, Ctrl-G, and pressing Shift, save the proportions and make this picture a little bit smaller and put somewhere here. Then probably I also want to make the size a little bit smaller. We know already how to do that. And parameter 5 probably will be the key one, the primary one in this slide. I will ungroup everything and put parameter 5 here, this sign here. I will do that bounce, so yeah, something like this. How works this data visualization stuff? I go to transition and choose the morph. By the way, this works only on 365 version or 2019. So here we are. Let me show you. First, we had this kind of parameters scheme. I just press button and parameter 5 becomes the primary part here and all other pictures on the left side. I can duplicate this slide and make again, for instance, this object a little bit larger somewhere here with more function. Then we have a movie with 3 slides. We still have parameter 5 here. Sorry, I didn't duplicate probably this slide. So it just increases in the side. Let me again. Okay, for me, sorry, it doesn't work right now. So I mean, the key idea here is that you can duplicate 10 times, 15 times, and so on and so forth with this file, and it still works. Let me move on. I will just highlight probably a few more life hacks because we don't have too much time. I wanted to leave some space for your questions. Don't do like this one on the left one with the background. You can remove the background if you can't find the picture, the appropriate picture in the internet. You click on it, picture format menu appears right there, and remove background. Sometimes it doesn't work pretty well, sometimes it does. So you can on your hand mark areas to keep or mark areas to remove. I just marked areas to keep changes, and here we are. My books looks pretty cool right now with any background on the other part. Another example here, how to merge pictures. And by the way, this sign, I mean, this arrow can be done really easily. If you don't know, you just click these two signs, I mean, two minuses, right? And the sign which is located on U or larger, and automatically the arrow appears here on the laptop. What is the idea with transforming different shapes? For instance, I want to make some cool data visual with rectangles. It won't be so cool just because I still need several times to do that. Several minutes, sorry. I will just present you the simple one. Something like this. And I will add one here. I will just change it a little bit and rotate vertically. I will do some kind of visual. And I want this picture, which is located here, to be exactly combined, intersect with these triangles. First, I have to select all of these triangles here. Shape format is activated menu, merge shapes, and I can actually combine them. Look what we have. Now it's one figure. I can't change any format inside. And I want this picture to be introduced with these triangles. First, I click on this picture. Later, I click on my visuals, shapes. I go to shape format, merge shapes, and I can intersect this picture and a cool visual appears here. Any form can be done with this tool, with this solution. Any modern visualization with different points, as we discussed right now, can be introduced here. If you go to the next slide, 17th, and I ask you to change the title, unfortunately, you can't change it just because this huge graph is located here. It's rather cool, but still you have to change your title. How to do that? When you go to the home menu here, to the arrange stuff, arrange option, you can click on selection pane. On this selection pane, you can observe all the elements which are here presented on the slide. And when you click on the title one, you see this menu is activated and you can move this and arrange, actually bring forward your element, or in other words, bring to front, or just move somewhere here. And now you see, I can do whatever I want with my title. So working with on this selection pane with different elements inside, this will help you to organize a big variety of different tools. Design ideas, modern option here. I can click right on the right bottom here inside, and you see different kind of solutions are already provided for me with some items. I haven't done anything with the slide, but you see it looks much cooler right now without any help of me as a presenter and as researcher, and with different elements it can also be observed. Okay, I think I will stop right now. I really want to have some time, probably to answer your questions, to talk with you. I have prepared several examples for you to work with the slides. All of them are in editable format, so you can observe on yourself, or probably right now ask me several questions about these graphs, how to work with them. Just some cool examples with graphics. Inside. So thank you so much for your attention. I will be really glad to answer to all of your questions. And if you learned something new about PowerPoint things, please press some kind of a plus in the chat. I will really understand that you have learned at least something new and cool. Probably one small thing, okay? Just one, and after that, definitely that's it. In the latest versions, you can do automatically the summary page. Actually, of course, in Word, you know that you don't press all the numbers and dots on the title page. Here you have summary zoom. Summary zoom can help you to include only needed pages in your summary part. You just highlight them like this one, press insert, and it is automatically here inside. And when I want to present the presentation for you, I can just click on this slide, automatically created, and it works. Also a new version, a new thing inside. So zoom, summary zoom, section zoom, you can observe it on your own.
Elena, thank you very much for your very interesting presentation. For me, there is like a great amount of very new information about the PowerPoint hacks. Maybe I missed it. Which version of PowerPoint do you have?
I have PowerPoint 365. Actually, all HSC employees can use this version, and all these modern things, techniques as Zoom, for instance, and as well as Morph with this one can also be observed here.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Dear colleagues, do you have any questions? We have a question in the chat.
I see that. Unfortunately, I mean, this site with inspiration, no one, you have to pay if you want this editable format. But my idea was that if you know several rules, how to copy paste these rectangles, circles, and just know how to change the points inside, you can do whatever you want in PowerPoint on your own. And actually, my strong belief that all the things which you can find in Canva or any other instruments in whatever, you can repeat in PowerPoint for 100%, definitely. So just find there the inspiration, sorry, and try to repeat this on your own here inside. Yeah, I'm really happy that you have learned something new. To look for the maps. One thing is already incorporated here in PowerPoint. Actually, in the charts, you can find the map tool. Actually, it's really perfect. It works rather well. Here inside, you just have to change some information here inside, and here we are. Of course, as a statistician, I would recommend to use R or Python, but if you don't have any clue about that, you can use this kind of thing. Moreover, it is possible to choose here when you click on format plot area in additional menu, and you can select only, for instance, Russia to demonstrate, or only America, so to work here. Also, there are several templates, free templates in the internet to download all the regions and to point them separately, I mean, step by step, if you don't have any additional knowledge, I mean, in programming. What is the idea about the pop pyramids. Pop pyramids, what do you mean? What is the idea? How to present them, how to draw, or what? Could you please clarify, Valery? I would.
Yeah, it's your slide 20, 20 seconds slide.
This one, yeah, of
Can you
course.
clarify your slide?
Yeah, I can explain you how to do that. Two tips and tricks for those who have not left the meeting. I think it could be also rather interesting. So how to do this kind of pyramid? I mean, on the left and on the right. If we go to edit data, you will see here that all the males data are with minuses. That's why we have this zero axis on the center, and all the men's go on the left, all the women's go on the right. I will open that in Excel and demonstrate you how fast to change your data into that kind of format. For instance, there are no age groups, but just, I don't know, female, male, or just comparison of two groups. And you want all the male be with pluses and all the females with minuses. This is a trick in Excel. Just click here on -1, not click, but print in a cell, in any cell if you wish, -1, and copy it with Ctrl+C or just copy. Highlight all the cells where you want to include your minuses here. Click right bottom, paste special, and then again paste special. So you just have to go to the paste special menu. A lot of cool options appear here, and we select multiply. So we multiply all the numbers with -1, resulting in all the numbers are now with minuses. You see our graph has changed. So everything right now is on the left side, but we want to change it right with males. So we know that if we multiply -1 by -1, we got plus, right? So -1 again, highlight these cells here, paste special menu, here, multiply with -1. We receive pluses here. Look what we have. We have changed men with women, just changed them. These are just icons which can be editable. Probably you can ask me also about this axis, how we can do that. So we go to this axis menu, format axis, and again, the trick here is located on that place. So additional menu appears, format axis. So yeah, we can format actually almost anything here inside, chart, legend, plot, anything inside. What is changed here in labels? Label position, high, it's on the right, low, it's on the left, none, it's in the middle here inside, and we can't observe that, oh, sorry, none. Next to axis, it's observed here on the middle. So my idea was just to use this one on the right side. That's the trick with that graph.
And the idea about animations is just to put the symbols of children and old persons on the right.
This is just the icon here. I just did it on my own, 3 icons and just line, dotted line here inside for more visualization.
Yeah, I mean your title of the slide is animation. What is animation here?
So, yeah, I will demonstrate you. Yeah, I thought to show you much more tips and tricks, but we don't have much time. So what was the idea? Classically, people just choose some kind of animation and it looks something like this. So you click on the slide and the graph appears. Doesn't look so good. My idea is every time for any smart art, any visualization, any graph, you can use this effect options thing. What does it mean? Let's have a look. We can first show men, then show women. We can by category choose every line by line. It automatically appears from the very beginning to the late, oldest people. And when we go to animation pane here, we can do that automatically, or if I click on these arrows, every step now has been splitted into click by click. I don't want to do that. For instance, I can change the duration to 0, 10. And now let's have a look how it works. So first the graph appears. Sorry, I didn't change that animation stuff. Just once again. Fade effect options, and I want to do that, yes, by category. Yeah, it will be rather fast if you need that. If you don't need it, so you can do that click on click, or delete animation for some kind of periods and just demonstrate the key results inside. So it depends on the goal. With any chart, we can do it like this one with different timing, clicks, so on and so forth. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. Very useful.
Yeah, you're welcome. Probably one more hit trick, rather popular in academia and just anywhere. I mean, this type of visualization for presentations, when you have huge time series and you want to highlight several pieces of information, how to do that automatically. The insight, I mean, the solution is really rather straightforward. It's just the combo chart. When you go here again to edit data, you will see three columns inside. One column just with dates, another column with revenue, and just one additional column with zeros and ones, where one meaning that we want to highlight this period. For instance, I want to highlight these ones. You see what happens? We receive this kind of highlighting of this chart. So what is the combination of the graphs inside? We can go to the chart design, change chart type, and let's have a look. It's just the line chart, right? We see this classical line inside, and these ones are 100 stacked column. As you know that now we have only ones and zeros, so one meaning 100% bar chart inside. I put that on the secondary axis, so 1 is 100, 0 is 0. So when I do it like this, I combine this chart, I can highlight any period which I want, and also add additional animation only on these bar charts, and it will work as a cool visual. Probably any other questions?
Sorry, I did not get this last explanation. Can you re-explain?
What exactly did you get? How to receive this kind of graph, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the combo chart. I will go to change chart type. Oh, probably no. Okay, I will go to edit data first so you can observe your data inside. So you have in the first column the dates, and in the second column the revenue. Revenue is our line, you see, so like 10,080 somewhere here, 12 here, and so on and so forth. And then I have zeros and ones only for those particular axis on axis x-axis line bars. So one meaning 100%. I can write everywhere 100 and here, for instance, zeros, but one is totally fine. So for the periods where I want to use these bar charts, I will do probably something like this. So we start with that part. And then I add additional one. I want this one to use not just as a line chart, but as a column chart. You see, despite the fact that I have added this data, nothing has appeared inside. I have to go to the change chart type. Now it is thought by PowerPoint that it's line chart. It's not our case. I change it to the combo. Now I see that revenue has changed to clustered column. I don't like that. I want the line chart inside. Promo still doesn't appear just because you see it's somewhere here with ones. I can move this to the secondary axis. Okay, does it look cool? Because some lines has appeared here. Small trick, mathematical one probably, 100% stacked. What does it mean? That all our observations as a result are 100%. I have only two numbers inside, ones and zeros, meaning that 1 is 100%, 0 is 0% in stacked column. I just do this one, and you see a lot of columns have appeared inside. I click OK. Doesn't look cool at the very beginning, that's totally fine. I go to this bar and I want to change the width of it. I go here, series promo, and series option gap width. I change it to the 0, 1, so now I have no additional space between these bars. I also don't want to add this 100% axis. It doesn't make any sense for my graph because I just highlight some kind of periods inside. I click on this axis, right bottom, format axis, and to the well-known for us labels, we just went right now there, label position, I say none. Not labels here. Here we are. The graph is inside. Was it clear? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. You're welcome. Several more solutions with pie charts can be observed here. So if you're interested, all the details are located right here. Actually, no tricks inside. These are just classic pie charts and a picture here with gray rectangular, but the transparency, you see, 80%. So it could be just black. I add some transparency so I can observe the cool color behind it. So any picture can be added actually to any chart. So it looks much cooler with battery, with whatever you want. Actually, I really love that one. It's rather popular. It's again just a picture here with some forms. So that's it. And from that picture, we receive these cool visuals. And inside, there are just 4 bar charts, classic bar charts. Yeah, so you can just work with these templates and understand how to do that. This is the picture inside. So as you know, we can just choose the color here. It could be solid, it could be cool gradient one, but gradient it's not the best choice. And for that one series, I have just decided to use the picture. So here we are. Yeah, thank you so much for those who have attended the seminar. I hope that you have learned something new about the presentation, and now it's a bit more, I don't know, understandable for you and not so scary to create some presentation in PowerPoint. Moreover, you can find a lot of stuff in the internet nowadays.
Yeah, thank you, Yelena. And thank you everybody for coming to our seminar. We hope that we will meet again in our next seminars. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a nice evening, everyone.
Спасибо.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you.